3, compare fractions, decimals, and percents. Every percent has an equivalent decimal and fraction value. So we can compare different numbers, in this case 3/4, 70%, and 0.72, and write them in ascending order. Now, ascending order, we have to make sure we know what's what here. We've got ascending order and we've got descending order. Ascending means we're going from smallest or least to greatest or biggest. So for example, 2, 3, 6, and 8, they're getting bigger. That's in ascending order. Descending order is the numbers are getting smaller. So for example, 10, 9, 8, 7, those are getting smaller.
How small?
So that is descending. So you need to make sure that you're clear on how that works. Ascending is getting bigger, descending is getting smaller. So, probably the easiest way to deal with numbers that are in different forms or formats is put them all into the same type of format and then compare them that way. And the easiest one to work with is probably decimal, because you can get to the decimal very quickly from a fraction by dividing it. And the percent, you just move your decimal point over 2 spots and then you'll have your decimal value for that as well. So let's rewrite 3/4 as a decimal. So we take 3, divide by 4, and you can do this on your calculator, you get 0.75. 70% as a decimal, you divide by 100, so it's 0.70. And then 0.72, that's already in decimal format, so it can stay at 0.72. So if we have 0.72, 0.70, and 0.75, hopefully you will recognize that 0.70 is the smallest. And remember, we're going in ascending order, so we're going from smallest to biggest. So the smallest is 0.70, the next one is 0.72, and then the next one is 0.75. Now that's great, we figured out the order they're in, but when you're answering a question like this, you want to answer it going back to the numbers that they asked you about. So you're not going to use all decimals, you're going to have a fraction, you're going to have a percent, and you're going to have a decimal in your answer. So we know that 0.70 is the smallest, so that's the 70% comes first. 0.72 is always a decimal, so it can stay that way. And then 0.75, that was the fraction 3/4, so that's the biggest one. So if you compare them on a number line, you'll be able to see which one is which. And if you're going ascending, you can start and go this way to get bigger, or descending, you start on this end and go smaller. So to rewrite your final list, you will say that 70% is smaller than 0.72, and 0.72 is smaller than 3/4. That's the format you want to write your answer in. So there's a little bit of flipping between formats, but probably the easiest way to compare these things is going to be on a number line or using decimals. So we've got another show you know. Give it a go.